Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be running through all the latest wrestling game news with new gameplay of UVW, updates on the wrestling code's Mocap, problems surrounding the release of Retromania, and all of news coming out of AEW's 2 Show Episode 2, including new trailers and behind the scenes footage on all of AEW's video games. Before we get into any of that though, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest wrestling game news, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's start things off with Virtual Basement's The Wrestling Code, as last weekend seen the team begin their foray into motion capture as they teamed up with former WWE star Enzo Amore to run some tests. Whilst we've not seen any official footage of how the test went, Enzo did share some behind the scenes footage over on Instagram in which you can see him testing out the equipment.
Oh hell yeah.
Your fingers all work good?
They're all working.
I
I don't know if they're like calibrated like we say.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Based off the video, the mocap looks to be pretty smooth and really accurate, so it's going to be interesting to see how this translates in-game. Aside from mocap starting up, we did also get one other tease as the company shared this image of Ultimo Dragon's mask, tweeting soon #TheLastDragon. So this pretty much confirms that Ultimo Dragon will be one of the next stars to be officially announced for the game 18 years after his last video game appearance in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Next up, we're talking UVW, as the current info drop is now in full swing, with the game's developer announcing 3 signings so far and showing off some brand new alpha gameplay. The 3 stars announced for the game include Ruckus, John Wayne Murdoch and G Raver, all of which are wrestlers well known in the matches that UVW focuses on. Because of the nature of the game, I can't show off the new gameplay in full, as YouTube require that I'd have an age gate on the video, but from what I can show you, this is looking really good so far. The environments look great and the animations aren't too bad either, albeit a little bit of clipping with the ropes. Now in the footage, here we see the player throwing strikes at his opponent to cause him to fall back onto the ropes, where he's then repositioned on the second rope ready for UVW's version of an OMG moment, which they're calling a ghoulish finisher. When you see the clip in full, then you'll know why it's called ghoulish. However, again, because of YouTube's policies, it's something that I've had to censor. If you want to check out the full version though, and I suggest that you do, then you can head over to the official UVW channel using the link in the video description. Switching over to WWE 2K Battlegrounds, this week's update is now live and it brings with it 4 new characters: Paige, Cactus Jack, Mustafa Ali and Tucker. Of the 4 new additions, Mustafa Ali and Tucker are both already unlocked, however Paige and Cactus Jack require unlocking using in-game currency. Up next, let's talk Retromania Wrestling, which was due to release today. However, despite the game now being live and available to purchase on Steam, the console versions of the game have been delayed. According to the developer, the delay is being caused by a delay in the certification process, which has yet to be completed. However, the good news is that they don't expect this to take very long, and the game should be available to release within the next 2 weeks. Due to the delay, the developers have also announced that they'll be extending the pre-order price of $24.99 into the game's launch window. Therefore, if you plan to pick the game up but you haven't done so yet, then you can still pick up your copy for the lower price ahead of the game's release. Meanwhile, if you're on PC, then you're unaffected by this delay, as the game is now available to purchase via the Steam store. Switching over to AEW, Retromania isn't the only wrestling game releasing today, as AEW have announced that their new casino game, AEW Casino Double or Nothing, is now available to download worldwide on both iOS and Android. As you can see from the gameplay, this is pretty much your standard casino game with an AEW overlay added to it. I don't think it'll have much appeal to wrestling fans unless they're already fans of casino games. Instead, I think this will be a game that appeals to more non-wrestling fans, which is somewhat weird, but it's a good way for AEW to find a new market and introduce players to the company when they're not already familiar with it. Despite this, if you do plan on downloading the game, there's 10 casino games on offer, including poker, slots, blackjack and roulette, with the game also offering up free chips for completing set tasks or for watching ads. Switching the focus over to AEW's second mobile game, AEW Elite GM, we now have a better understanding of how this game works and what we can expect from it thanks to a new trailer hosted by Aubrey Edwards. In the new trailer, Aubrey goes over how matches work and how you can go about customizing your match card and setting up various match types, including one-on-one, tag team, triple threat, and so on. The catch here is that each of these match types comes with an added cost, meaning the more participants, the more money that you'll have to shell out. This is also true when selecting who will take place in matches, as each star comes with their own set price, therefore you'll have to budget to make sure that you don't blow all of your money on a single match. One thing to keep an eye on is the health and stamina of stars, as this will greatly impact that star's performance, so you'll have to factor that in and make sure that you're giving guys a rest in between matches and making the most out of all the stars on your roster. Should you wish to keep the focus on a star who has low stamina, then one way that you can go about this is by setting up a special segment that takes place outside of the ring, with these segments including things like pre-tape promos and catering, on-stage promos, invasions and contract signings. As with matches, each of these segments also come with a cost, although they do include stat boosts to those involved, such as boosting their stamina. At the conclusion of the week, you'll also get a review of your performance, your show's rating, and how it's affected your total cash, your fan base, and wrestler morale. If you want to check out the full trailer, then I'll leave a link to the full video going over all of the new features in the video description. Finally for today, let's talk the AEW Console Game, as we have some brand new behind the scenes footage that was taken from the recent audio capture. In this new footage, you can see how AEW went about recording all of the different sound effects needed for the video game, in which they took over a local soundstage and set up a ring to record audio. Whilst this isn't the most exciting of updates, it is cool to see how the process went about and the different methods used to capture audio, as rather than having performers take actual bumps, a lot of the effects were recreated using props. For example, the audio for breaking a table was captured by having a performer jump onto a board that was resting on a few blocks, as this gave off the same sound effect as breaking a table would, but was much easier and safer to record. Other than audio capture, there wasn't really anything else that was announced that we don't already know about. However, in a new interview with IGN, Kenny Omega once again reiterated the fact that AEW's game isn't going to be a yearly release like the 2K series, and that the company will be constantly updating it with new additions. As for what those additions are, Kenny did give a few examples, as he noted that we could see the game updated to feature new arenas if a new show was added, or the addition of new stars to the roster should AEW make a new signing. So again, it all sounds very promising, however it's still a long way off, as it doesn't look like this game will release until at least this time next year. Anyway guys, that's it for this latest batch of wrestling game news, but let me know your thoughts on everything covered in today's video in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications to stay up to date with all the latest wrestling game news. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.